Parabatai. Lord of Shadows comes out next week. That's the thing. I'm really sorry for the amount of people that have been asking for this video. I am so late. Things got really crazy and like life got a bit mad. It got to May and I was just like casually going about my life. Everything was cool. And then I was like, Lord of Shadows comes out this month. Holy shit. So yeah, gonna make a theories video about it. It's been a hot minute since Lady Midnight came out. That's over a year ago. I read it over a year ago. I have not read it since. I do want to reread it. I did want to try and reread it in April or May and I haven't. So, but I have some theories on my phone that I've made throughout the year and that I made straight after I finished Lady Midnight and that I've added to as the year has gone on. So I'm gonna work from those theories and talk about what I think is gonna happen in Lord of Shadows and the stuff that I think that we're gonna see and that I'm expecting to see and that I want to see. As kind of all of the whole Shadowhunter world is very linked with each other, this video is going to contain spoilers not only for Lady Midnight but for the Infernal Devices and the Mortal Instruments as well. So if that you don't want to be spoiled for any of that, then go away now. But if you want to stick around and discuss theories with us, then hello. So one of the big theories that I think, and that I will be so surprised if this doesn't actually happen, like I will be amazed if the book happens and this isn't the case. Malcolm isn't dead. We think he's dead. We're supposed to believe that he died in Lady Midnight. He's not dead. I refuse to believe that he is dead. There's so much riding on it with everything that happened and everything that he was trying to do and everything that he could do and everything that's going to come next that I just refuse to believe that he died in the first book. I know, Cassandra Clare, I've been playing this game for a long time. I have been in this fandom and in this world for a long time. Malcolm isn't dead. Obviously, one of the massive things in Lady Midnight is that Annabel woke up. You need the Blackthorn blood to wake up, and she didn't, like, did she have that? None of the Blackthorns had died, so how on earth did that happen? What went on there? You know, she's awake. Is she properly awake? Is she like 100% awake? Is there a Blackthorn somewhere that we don't know is a Blackthorn that was able to give their blood or that was killed to bring her back? Johnny Rook could possibly be the Blackthorn that died. He raised a Herondale. He was hiding from his name, but all the families are kind of intertwined and they kind of marry each other. Maybe he could have Blackthorn blood and he could have been the one that helped raise Annabel. Do they need to be a dead Blackthorn? I know that sounds really weird. Or is there a way to kind of get around the loophole of just having a little bit of blood? I know that it's kind of made to be they need to be dyed, it needs to be the blood of a Blackthorn, but I'm wondering if there's like possibly the spell was strong enough that just if they got cut or someone got cut or there was some kind of little sacrifice where there was blood, maybe that could have just done the job, or it's done enough of the job for now. They obviously got around it somehow, so something's going down there. What she's gonna be like she's been asleep for a very long time. She's been gone for a very long time. What is she going to be like? What's her temperament going to be like? What's her attitude going to be like? How is she going to be? But I feel like she's going to play a big part. And again, I don't think Malcolm's dead. So like they're gonna get in together. They're gonna like do something. Like that's gonna happen. I know how this game works. They're gonna be the new people that we need to stop. Wouldn't it be really cool if Annabelle was like really nice and she's like, I didn't want to wake up, like I love the Blackthorns. Let's all be nice. We also have the whole mess between Emma and Julian and this kind of, I don't want to say love triangle. Emma and Julian, you know, they are in love with each other. They can't be in love with each other. They are parabatai. It's a whole mess of a situation. We finally found out in Lady Midnight what it can do if you fall in love with your parabatai and the effect that it can have on you. Emma and Julian's power is growing very, very, very strong. It's very dangerous. If they continue being in love, if they continue acting on those feelings, then it's just gonna become a really big mess. They're gonna get hurt, their family's gonna get hurt. It's just not gonna be a very fun time. So at the end of Lady Midnight, obviously we had Mark saying, let's like pretend to get into a relationship and we'll just make it feel like that you're moving on and that we don't have to have this. You don't have to, you know, be with him. You can kind of have this ruse of moving on so that you will fall out of love with him. That's not going to happen. This is just going to cause much more mess than they think. Julian and Emma are not going to just fall out of love. Julian, when he finds out about Emma and Mark, is going to go absolutely mad. That is going to ruin him. I don't want to be there for how emotional it's going to be when Julian finds that out. Like, it is going to ruin him, as well as myself. I just don't want to watch Julian just absolutely just be destroyed by it. It's gonna be heartbreaking. I think that Emma is probably gonna develop some feelings for Mark and possibly vice versa as well. Mark kind of has that hint of why pretend at the end of Lady Midnight, so I feel like something's definitely gonna go down with them. And then obviously Kieran is back. Cassandra Clare released a snippet on Tumblr, I think it was, and Kieran's in it, so what's happening between Kieran and Mark? Is that just going to add even more fuel to the fire, and it's going to be a mess? I think there's going to be like a big thing with that. Like, I think at the end of this book is going to be the big kind of, with their relationship, they're going to talk about it. I don't feel as though we've learned as much as we possibly can between the relationships between parabatai. They know what it can do, but I'm wondering if it's ever actually been explored or if there's anything else they can do with it. The thing I found with the Shadowhunter rod is that there's always other ways. There's things that people can do and work through and see different ideas, and someone kind of always pushes the boundaries a little bit and kind of does something that someone else that no one else has done before. So I'm wondering if their parabatai bond is going to play a massive part in that, and what's going to happen with that. And I just don't think we've heard the end of what the parabatai bond can do if you're in love with each other. I'm wondering if it's like kind of, if you can bear the power that it gives you, or like you can kind of get through the power that it gives you, you can come out the other side of the parabatai bond together. I'm wondering if it's like no one's ever wanted to push it because there's been so much destruction, but after all that destruction, if you can kind of face it and the bond and stuff can see that you can face it, then like you're just allowed to be in love and it's totally fine. Or I don't know, like I really am just trying to think of ways where they can be together, because we want them to be together, we want that bond to go away, and we want them to be fine. And you know, it's not just law, it's actually, people could get hurt and people could die, but it's like, what actually is the situation? Like, is there something into it? Can we read into it? Can we do more stuff to figure out the bond? There's also like all that weird stuff that Malcolm was saying about love being the highest law, and I'm like, does that play a part? Like, is that going to be a way that they can break it as well, that just ultimate love, it means that they can do this stuff? I don't know how it's going to work or how it's going to all go down, but I feel like there's going to be something really important with that bond. Is it like the type of love, the intent, how you plan on using it? I just feel like there's so much more to that power than we already know. Like, there's going to be so much more to it. I also think that we're going to have to call on the TMI gang. On the snippet with Kieran on Tumblr, he is talking to little baby Max Lightwood Bane, and I think Alec appears in it. Magnus and Alec both appear in that snippet. Magnus and Alec are there with their children. I believe Raphael will probably be there as well, so they're going to be involved somehow. Sometimes I'll just call on Magnus because he's a high warlock, but obviously if Alec's there as well, maybe they need shadow hunters and extra shadow huntery help, which I'm sure the New York gang are more than willing to give. There's a little hint to things at the end of Lady Midnight. There's the kind of bonus chapter where we have that little bit extra, and Magnus is talking and Alex talking, and he finds out stuff that's going down. I feel like their part isn't over. We're not leaving them. I feel like they're going to play a part in this and they're going to appear. Also, of course, the big twist, Christopher Herondale. There's an entirely new Herondale and we don't know who he is. What he's about, his backstory, we don't know much about him other than the fact that Tessa and Jem have found him and they've introduced him as Christopher Herondale, and now we're like, what the fuck, there's another Herondale, we need to figure this out. Jem is not the only remaining Herondale anymore. I feel like they're going to meet in this, like that's going to be something. I would really love to see, while they're teaching Christopher about his heritage and his background, which obviously Tessa is a massive part of, that they tell Jace some stuff as well, because I feel like Jace doesn't know as much as I would like him to know. So I feel like he's going to meet Christopher, and I would love to see them learning about their backstory and learning about Will and loads of other stuff. I've also read online that some of the book will be set in London. There's the London Bridge on the cover of the book cover. So I'm wondering what that will be. Is that going to be Tessa going back to the London Institute and Jem going back to the London Institute? Oh my god! Please, please! Are we gonna meet the people that are in the London Institute now? Isn't Jessamine's ghost there as well? Are we just gonna like meet these people and they're just gonna be like people that live there now, and it's gonna be so different but the same. It's gonna, I really want to see the London Institute. Really hope that it's Jem and Tessa going back and that there's something there they're gonna be able to find. I'm wondering if that's gonna be it, if it's gonna tie in with Jem and Tessa, if it's gonna be something they need to get, or something, some part of their family or some part of their heritage, or just something like I need. I also feel like we're gonna learn more about the Blackthorn history. There are little hints throughout Lady Midnight where they talk about the Blackthorns and what people think about them and stuff that happened in their history, and they're all kind of intertwined with Tessa and Will and all their lot with their children and stuff. They all kind of married into the Lightwoods and the Blackthorn families. So there's lots of history there, and I feel like all their histories are going to be intertwined, and I feel like we're going to learn a lot about them, and that we're going to learn how they link, what happened, how all that went down. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I'm really hoping there's a lot of backstory in this one and we learn a lot more, and I feel as though what we're going to learn is going to set up for the third book in the series and how everything's going to kind of tie in with that. I really want to see Julian and more of his kind of character development as well. I feel like as Lady Midnight went on, we learned more about Julian. You know, he was feeling different things, he was exploring different emotions, he was feeling quite emotional and acting in ways that he even surprised himself, and I'm wondering, is that due to the parabatai power as well, giving him more powers, or is it something to do with himself and his heritage and things that he can do? And I don't feel as though we've got, you know, he is the focus. We've got the whole Blackthorns and Emma, and we're kind of following Emma's story, but I feel like there's going to be so much more to Julian that we can't even imagine yet. Like, I think there's just going to be so much more to him, which I'm really, really looking forward to seeing, and seeing more of his development and how that all works. Apparently there's also going to be a wedding, and I know this is like really trivial theory as opposed to everything else like life and death and parabatais and bonds and family histories and stuff, but Simon and Isabel got engaged in the little end bit of Lady Midnight, so I'm wondering if it's gonna be their wedding. That would be so cool, so cute. Max and Raphael as like page boys, or Magnus and Alec. Like, I'll take that. One can only dream. I also think Helen's gonna come back. Like, I think that's definitely gonna be a thing. She's gonna be involved somehow. Like, I think like all the Blackthorns, there's something going on, and that I feel like that whole family is gonna have to band together and come together to kind of discuss and talk about everything, and so figure out what they're gonna do. I also feel like the Seelie Queen's gonna come into it somehow. She's been gone, and she's been freakishly gone. It's weird that she's not there. Like, it's weird that the Seelie Queen hasn't been there. It's weird that she's gone. There's that theory that still goes around that she got pregnant with Sebastian's little demon spawn, and I don't know if I fully think that. If she does, then God help us all. But I feel like she's gonna come back into it. Maybe she was working with Malcolm or something. Like, she's not just gonna be forgotten about. It doesn't make much sense for her to come back in the finale of a series as well. I feel like if she comes back at the end of 2, or a good chunk into 2, it'll be enough to just stir some shit up. I don't feel like she's done yet. She'll be back. She'll definitely be back. Her and Annabel and Malcolm, like, are they working together like some kind of terrible trio, gonna kill everyone situation? Please, no. I know that in Lord of Shadows 4 characters are going to die. 4 named characters that we know are going to die. I don't want this unless it's like all the bad people. Like, I really hope it's not one of the TMI gang, because like I'm done with like trying to worry about them. It's so stressful. I feel like I've had my time to worry about those guys, so please, like, don't do it. Like, I feel like one of the Blackthorns is going to die, maybe Drew or Tavi or Livy. Without sounding harsh, they're not as significant as Julian, like they're not playing as much of a part, and same with Mark. Possibly if the Seelie Queen is involved, she may die as well. When I thought about my City of Heavenly Fire people that were gonna die, it didn't actually end up being like main people. It wasn't like Alec or Izzy or anything. It was like Jordan and people like that, so I'm thinking maybe it will be like Christina or Diego or Kieran or someone like that. But yeah, theories. That's essentially just stuff that I think may happen and stuff that I'd like to see happen, and just a discussion of kind of what is going on at the current moment in the Shadowhunter world and what I think that's going to lead to and what's going to come next. It's obviously not everything. I'm going to finish this video, and while I'm editing this video I'm going to come up with 50 bajillion other theories and ideas, and I'm going to watch everyone else's videos now, and they're going to have loads of ideas that I'm going to be like, why didn't I think of that? But this is just my initial, what do I think is going to happen in this present moment. I'd love to know your thoughts about what you think is going to happen in Lord of Shadows and what you would like to see happen in Lord of Shadows down below. It's been a really long time since we've had a Shadowhuntery chat. I'm really sorry about that. My life has kind of been Harry Potter. I mean, my life's always been Harry Potter, but like very recently my life has been Harry Potter, so I have not been as invested and involved in the Shadowhunter world as I would like to be. I've neglected it a bit, so I'm really looking forward to having such a big Shadowhuntery chat down in the comments, and then again when Lord of Shadows is out and I do my review and I do the discussion and we can all have good Shadowhuntery chats, so let's get talking. If you're new here, I make bookish videos a couple of times a week, so if you would like to stick around and join us, then you can do that. And as usual, all my links will be in the description below if you would like to come hang out with me on other social medias. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're doing really, really, really well, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.